Gary Price is our expert in elder law, and today we have a conversation that will surely set out the important differences in Medicaid planning and estate planning. Good morning, Gary.
Morning, Angie.
Well, what are some of the mistakes we make in thinking these are the same?
Well, yeah, and there are some similarities, but you know, when we talk about estate planning, we're often talking about preparing the last will and testament, the advanced directives. We've talked about power of attorney before and how important that is, and the healthcare representative appointment and the living will. Those are the things we talk about when we're having a conversation on estate planning. On the other hand, when we talk about Medicaid and Medicaid planning, you know, the will doesn't necessarily come in as a part of that discussion. What is a part of that discussion might be, or not might be, will be a power of attorney instrument, but what we're really talking about on Medicaid planning is sheltering assets. What can we do to save money, preserve, which is always a popular subject, right? So
right.
What can we do to shelter our assets so that we're not using all our money to pay the nursing home? So that there is a huge distinction there between, and I often am, when I'm talking to clients, I'm often saying, now we're talking about estate planning. Now we're talking about Medicaid planning. There are two different discussions in a lot of ways. But Angie, there's one similarity. In addition to the power of attorney instrument, there's another similarity. And when we talk about estate planning, what we also want to talk about, or what I always want to bring up, is what can we do to avoid probate? Let's look at your assets. Let's look at your resources, and let's talk about what steps we can do now in order to avoid probate, because anyone that's been involved in the probate process, which is a court process, knows that it takes a lot of time, 7 months plus, and costs a lot of money. So what can we do to avoid probate? Which, again, we're talking about saving time and saving money, which is similar to what we're talking about when we talk about Medicaid.
And can it be avoided in all cases, Gary? If the plans
I hate
have
to
been
say
made.
in all cases, but certainly in most cases, it can be avoided. But there are steps we take now in order to do that. And the steps we take now doesn't have anything to do with giving away assets or anything like that. But there are steps we can do now to avoid probate. And it's always a good thing to do. You're doing a big favor for your family, both in time and money.
Well, Gary, I did want to ask you a question because it raised a question for me. When people sign a power of attorney, what's really the value of that and the power of it?
Well, if it's an unlimited power of attorney, when you sign that power of attorney, you're allowing whoever your agent is that you name on that power of attorney instrument, you're allowing them to do, or giving them authority to do, whatever transactions that you could do yourself. That's what a power of attorney allows the agent to do on behalf of the person signing the document. Now, that doesn't mean they can do it immediately. They got to have the document. So a lot of times a client will come to me and they don't need a power of attorney right now. I say, let's prepare it. Let's get it ready. Put it away. I've mentioned this to you before. Let's put it away, and hopefully it'll collect 2 inches of dust before someone ever needs it. But if you don't have one and you need it, then we got to go through court again. We got to go through a guardianship process, which again costs a whole lot more than a power of attorney and requires time in court.
Right. Well, Gary, let everybody know how they can get your wonderful book. I know all of these topics are covered thoroughly in the book.
Sure. My book, Medicaid in Indiana, all you have to do is give my office a phone call, 812-479-8721, and we'll send you a copy, no charge.
Gary Price, expert in elder law. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Angie.
You too. And we'll be back with more local lifestyles right after this commercial message.